least have a synonym
for special?
Yeah.
Or, I wish I knew how to say it in German.
How do you say special in German?
Spezial.
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 Hey, my old bike is mad at me.
Your old bike?
My old bike is mad at me.
Why? Frank, any ideas why his bike would be mad at him? You're his fitter.
Yeah.
Frank the fitter.
I could see why.
you can see why. Is it because he jumps curbs after getting it fitted?
Exactly.
It's because I bought a new bike, and my old bike hasn't spoken. Hasn't spoken to me in 2 weeks.
Well, spoken. I like it. That was good.
Boo.
Did you make that one up?
No, it's
You Googled that one?
Google search.
I like it. Google search. My Google search, we were looking for dad jokes in about Germans. We'll talk.
It all came up. It all came up as German jokes.
German dad jokes. Hard to say.
Yeah, and then I found a list of like 100 different jokes, but they were like nuances of the German language for people that spoke both English and German, and I didn't understand any of them. So you got the spoken joke today.
Yes, and today's
Special.
Yes.
Especial, because that sounds kind of like Spanish to me. Special.
Spezial. Depending on where you put the special on. So it could be spezial or it could be spezial.
Does it depend on where you're at in the country? Is it different?
No. It depends on in what context you're going to use it.
So for a special guest, how would we say it?
Ein spezieller Gast.
Ein spezieller Gast. That sounds really close to English. Do you know why?
Right.
Because
both English and German are Germanic languages.
English is Germanic?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You're a linguist.
I'm a linguist. Icelandic, English, German.
Oh.
There's more. Yeah.
Really? I did not know that.
Look at that. It's crazy, huh?
That is. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learned something on this
it's probably
podcast.
super easy for you to learn English, right?
The thing is that in Germany, when you attend school up from 5th grade, you have to speak 2 languages, foreign languages.
Yeah.
English is always a given. Everybody has to learn English. And then you can choose. Back in the days, it was between French and Latin.
What did you learn?
I'm lazy. I got French. You know?
Yeah. But wait, who speaks Latin? Seriously.
No one. It's an unspoken. Yeah. Who speaks?
It's so funny here in the States, like I'm an anomaly because I speak multiple languages, but
Yes.
in Europe, like everybody does.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's
It's very common.
Yeah, it's not normal.
Okay,
not unnormal.
Unnormal. So we haven't even introduced Frank yet, but we're learning so much about him already.
Yeah.
So how many languages do you speak, and what do you speak?
So right now, 2.
Okay.
German and English. Because I'm lazy. I forgot the
French.
You forgot French?
Okay.
So use it.
Je ne parle pas français.
Oh, wow.
I don't speak French.
So it would be parlez-vous français, right?
Yeah. Do you speak French? And you say no.
All right. So we have an extraordinary guest.
Extraordinary?
Extraordinary guest. That's what we're going with today. Yes. Frank Kaiser. Can you introduce yourself, sir?
In German or in English?
You know,
whichever you prefer. We do have some. Did you look it up? We do have some German.
Yes,
listeners.
we absolutely have German listeners. So we probably should throw some German.
For like the 5 people from Germany that listen to this podcast.
Ein Hallo an alle in Deutschland. Herzlich willkommen zum Mountain Cake Podcast hier. So, heute haben wir mich als Gast. Ich bin von Deutschland und lebe hier in den Vereinigten Staaten. Ich bin ein Certified Bike Fitter. I think there's no translation for that. Everybody calls it
Bike
the
fitter.
same in Germany. German is getting a lot of English terms by now.
Yeah.
But ich hoffe, ihr lernt etwas in diesem Podcast, habt Interesse daran zuzuhören und es würde mich freuen, wenn ihr mich kontaktet after that.
Okay.
That sounded like very fluent German.
He could have just been saying like these guys are idiots. I don't know why I'm here. what did you sign me up to? I'm in this little tiny room with all these guitars. What is going on here? This fat guy came to get a bike fit. Now I'm at his house.
I have an Ironman competition this weekend. I hope I make it out alive.
All right, Frank, what was that in English?
So, welcome to the Mountain Cup podcast. I'm a bike fitter, and here today we're going to talk a little bit about bike fitting. Hopefully everybody can get something out of it and learn something. I would like, if you have any questions or something regards, just contact me afterwards. I guess that Josh is going to put something.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show
podcast
notes. Yeah,
description.
I can put contact in the show notes for sure.
Or just come by and see me at Ben's Bikes.
At Ben's Bikes.
Yeah, at Ben's Bikes.
Frank, would you be okay? So I'm super enthralled. I want to get into the bike fitting topic and probably spend the majority of time on that. But at the end, would you be okay if we talked about your training practice as well, your coaching practice as well?
Oh, yeah, of course. No problem.
Yeah, I thought it'd be good to introduce to our listeners what you do there and maybe
I think that's
highlight that. I don't know if you're looking for new clients in that end
Every
or not.
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Of course.
Yeah. So just to kind of frame this then. So we've got Frank the Fitter, bike fitter, and he's over at Ben's Bikes.
Yeah, which is in the east side of Tucson.
Thank you.
And they're also in Requiem, Washington.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Good memory on that. And then additionally, you are a...
Wait, do I get that name right? Do I have the name right? Is it Requiem?
I have no idea.
I'll go.
Ben's dad's got. You work at the shop. There's another Ben's Bikes in Washington State.
I know. I know that's in Washington State and that's in Skim, I think.
Well, Mike's gonna look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I can't do two things at once, but I can't really do. Okay,
Megan, you just confirmed all of her statements right there. Megan's his wife.
So okay, and then I lost my train of thought. So certified bike fitter, I should clarify, and certified Ironman coach.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Is there any other personalities of Frank as well that you have?
Yes, there's a lot.
Do you care to share any?
Oh, no, maybe just a little bit of background.
Yeah,
if that's
please,
okay.
please.
Yeah. Tell us about your background, and just before we get into that, it's SEQUIM, Sequim.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's not Requiem. I think I made that shit up. So replace the R with an S, and that's where Ben's. I've never been
in
there.
Washington. Okay. Thank you, Josh. Yeah. All right. So background.
Over to Frank the Fitter. Tell us your story.
My story, that could be more than an hour,
Yeah.
My wife always says you should write a book.
Give us the abridged version.
Right, exactly. So I'm 56 years old, next month 57. So I'm an old guy. And like I said, 21 years active in the German Air Force. Was a supply chain officer with the German Air Force. And in 2002, I was placed in New Mexico, Holloman Air Force Base, over there. And
so you were part of the German military, but stationed in the United States.
Exactly, yes. And we had a flying training center. We were teaching our pilots how to go very low and drop bombs and stuff.
What type of planes? F-16s?
No, we have Tornadoes.
Tornadoes.
Okay. And that's actually only, we have the Phantoms, the F4s.
Okay.
We had them before, and then we switched over to the Tornado.
So you brought a British fighter to the United States to train.
Not me. I was
you were just a logistics guy, but the squadron did. That's so weird.
Yeah.
You think you guys would have went to like RAF Mildenhall or something in England to do that?
Yeah, and you're actually right. Due to the climate and everything which is surrounding Germany, and then England would be very close.
Yeah.
But the weather here allow us for young pilots, which are absolutely unexperienced, to go very low and train that before they actually get exposed to it.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
So
it's like a stepping stone.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And that's where they all learn actually flying in general before they then get over and get European, versions and get exposed to weather and climate and everything. So they learn it here.
So you're saying like we're like the kindergartner. We're like the kindergarten of like fighter jets here in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but not anymore because that stopped. So they shut it down like 2-3 years ago. Everything's gone now.
Wow.
Because we don't have that plane anymore. We still have it, but it's so old,
they're old
that we don't need new pilots. The pilots, we have enough, and they're going to fly it until that plane falls
apart.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you guys flying now? Do you know?
Eurofighter.
Eurofighter. Okay. Boo. No offense. I work for a U.S. defense company, so
I think we're just in the process of buying some F-35.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
So 21 years in active in the German military.
Right.
Spent some time over in, you said, New Mexico.
Yeah. Holloman Air Force Base.
Holloman Air Force Base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So then what happens after that?
So here's the thing. I went back to Germany after my command here, and we went back like in August, September. And my wife was all, we have new 4 seasons now, and we have not like every day is sunshine. It's warm. And, okay. Yeah. So we got back to Germany, and when we landed there, it was raining. And we were in the northern part of Germany, and it was raining and foggy and cloudy up until March.
Oh, yeah.
So
you're like, let's get back to the desert.
Like 3 months home or 5 months home, whatever in between that. My wife said, come up with something. Let's do something. We need to go back, Try to get stationed over here, but since I just came back, there was nothing. Yeah. Nothing was available. So we put in the green card lottery, and we got lucky and won one. I don't know if you guys know that there's a lottery, and I think it's still going on.
I did not know that.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so when you have a certain education and you're not a felon and all these little things, you can apply, and you come from a certain country. Not every country is allowed to put in for a green card. You can put your name into that lottery.
Right.
And at that time when we were putting in, 10.4 million people put in, and they're going to draw 50,000 at that time. Wow. 50,000 green cards.
Odds are crazy.
Out of that pot. And it's 50,000 cards, not 50,000 people. Because if you're a family like us, I have 3 kids. We have 3 kids.
You come with your whole family.
We are 5 people, so we're getting 5 cards out. If, like, I won the lottery.
Yeah, right.
And we got those 5 cards out. And then it's a process of like about a year. It is very expensive. So, and it's everything you have to prove. So it's quite a process to get here illegal. And
yes.
After I thought that, hey, I'm just going to have a few years until I retire from the military, and then we're going to live over in the United States. No. If you get into that green card lottery, you have 1 year to actually move over to the U.S. To get situated here, get a job, because they're looking for something like this. We want to have that education and whatever from different countries, so we can open our eyes and get
diversity and
all that.
And unlike the U.S. military, their retirement age isn't 20 years, or their retirement time isn't 20 years. It's actually significantly longer.
Yeah, 35 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts, huh?
Yeah, it's a long time.
So I'm officially retired without retirement, because in Germany, if you're not in there for 35 years,
you're not retired.
Then they're going to get all your money out and put it back into Social Security. So then when I'm eligible for Social Security, I get my Social Security out.
And that's like what, next year?
Yeah, that's good.
No, it's in 8 years.
We're getting close. Yeah. Well, and so what are the options, right? Like I just explained, 10.4 million people, and we got the chance. So we said,
that's cool.
Got to do it.
We said, fuck it. I'm going to quit, and we're going to go over here. So after we won, we got one-way tickets, and where are we going?
One-way tickets.
Right? We always liked Phoenix, so we're just going to go over to Phoenix, right? So, one-way tickets to Phoenix. Then I tried to put in applications with companies and whatnot, but everybody got back to me and said, you know what, we need to see your green card, because you don't get it before you land in the United States. You're going to land on an international airport, and then you get some paperwork, and then they're going to send that green card to an address or a lawyer you picked before, and then you can pick it up, and then you have it in your hand and can show it to maybe an employer.
Yep.
And you're eligible to work.
They wanted that in hand.
They wanted to see that, because everybody can say, yes, I'm eligible to work.
Yeah.
So there was actually one company who said, yeah, we're going to give it a try. So that was Tri Sports here in Tucson.
Oh, yes.
So they're gone by now, unfortunately.
Yes.
But we landed on Sunday night here in the United States, got a rental car in Phoenix, and drove over to Tucson. 8 o'clock in the morning, I sat at Tri Sports and talked to Susan Meeker at that time. And I got hired on the spot. And I thought, what the heck?
Were you a triathlete at that point already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think that was part of it. And it turned out we were looking for a house the next day, and then the German Air Force called and said, we know you're in the country, and we know your education, we know your certifications, we know your security clearance. Would you be willing to work for us? And these are the conditions. And they were too good to pass. Oh, wow. So we packed our stuff. I said, Susan, I'm sorry, I can't work here. And we went back to Alamogordo, New Mexico, where Holloman Air Force Base is close by. That's the city next to it. And Las Cruces is very close.
Yeah. It's a beautiful area.
Right.
Actually.
It is actually, yes. And then I worked for them close to 7 years as a contractor. And and then
as a contractor now.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not enlisted, I guess.
No.
Okay,
but if you're a foreign government in the United States or wherever you would be, you have to hire a certain amount of local
people just
just to.
And so now you're local.
Did you count then you counted for like for the German military hired an ex-German to count against their quota for the Americans that they had to hire?
That works out.
That's perfect. Talk about like working the system.
Yeah.
Double, triple dipping. I don't know how that works, but that's well, good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after 5 years, you can apply for citizenship. If there would be nothing wrong, if you didn't do anything wrong, you apply for citizenship, which I did, or we all did, of course, and we became citizens. And then the German Air Force said they don't allow dual citizenship. There's a few exceptions. But
so once you became a citizen, you couldn't work for them anymore?
Not with the work I was doing.
Gotcha.
And
So
they
this,
said, no security clearance. We can't trust you anymore.
Yeah.
Of course, but more or less like this.
I know how that
and
goes.
I was at the point that I wanted to get into into the U.S. system as well. So we split up. We had to split up.
Right.
And then you're there. You're a military guy, right? 37 years in the military. It's still military, even if you're somewhat a contractor, but it's still military. You deal with all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? So I went and applied for police departments. U.S. military would not take me. And Border Patrol. I was too old. I was 48 at that time.
Oh, okay.
And so I applied with local police department, sheriff departments, and Las Cruces took me in. Sheriff's department as well as police department. Decided to go with the sheriff's department and went through the academy in New Mexico, one of the oldest one. Through a law enforcement academy.
Pretty cool.
That is awesome. And I bet you like kicked all their butts too and all that because you were a triathlete.
Yeah.
Ironman.
But learning, especially then everything, the language and everything in English was very, very tough thing. So
like with the legal terms and okay.
Most of the time I listened and I didn't understand a lot. So I wrote everything down, and my fellow cadets helped me a lot. And at night I sat there and I translated everything to make sense out of it and learned it and then get back to next day and got it.
Translate in German, understand it, and then back to English on the test or whatever.
Because all these terms, these law terms, oh my God, right? It's really bad. So that's what I did.
That's quite a journey.
It is, yes.
That's really cool.
There's more.
Yeah.
Oh, there is. Oh.
I don't know where he's going from here. But
No,
we'll see.
I just, of course, you work on the streets as a cop then that's what you do in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, and telling you German language, you're a linguist, and you approach people in the car and you talk to them in my weird accent.
And they're like, who the hell are you in Las Cruces? You're not, if you come with a Spanish accent, they're okay.
Yeah,
but you come with a German accent, they're like, what the hell is going on here?
And the German language is very harsh. So my English, I think, sometimes sounds very harsh.
Sure.
And they sit there and they're shaking. I say, hey, I'm not a bad guy, I'm really a good guy. And trust me, I'm going to work for you and with you. So let's get this figured out. There's no need to be afraid. Right? And then there's these people, they see that I'm struggling, obviously, and they just speak in Spanish and no English.
That doesn't help either.
And then you know how they pick up. You see them. They pick up on certain English stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I could make my way around a Spanish traffic stop, just the basic I would know. Mm-hmm. But then I just answered them in German. When they only spoke Spanish, I answered in German and said, you see, this is how I feel when you just speak Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
And here we go. We were both on the same level and we spoke English,
Oh, that's cool.
I have done
that's
that.
always
like
an
that.
icebreaker.
I have actually
speak Albanian
with,
to them?
with Arabic. I have done that to people here that will only speak Spanish. I'm like, I know you speak English, son. Come on.
Well, in the long run, like I said, went to the academy and was an academy instructor and did all the fun shit. Firearms instructor, EVOC instructor, bicycle instructor.
You've worn a lot of hats.
Oh, yes, I did. And then became a detective.
Oh, wow.
And, worked as a detective for a few years. And at one point I thought, I'm good. It's
and you're only 56?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You packed a lot in.
Yeah.
What did your kids think about coming over to the United States?
So, two heads, I would say. They liked it here always because, of course, everything was so cool and different and not like it is in Germany, not so strict and whatnot. But once we talked about moving over and they were used to it. We were a military family. They were...
Oh, used to moving.
Yeah, they used to moving and give up their friendships and whatever. I wouldn't say give up, but just changing.
Yeah.
But when we came over, they missed a few things and it was different for them than going into an American school and not a German one because we had a German school in Alamogordo. Our youngest one, he went to the American kindergarten and first school somehow. So he was used to it, and for him it was less. But the older kids, they were 8 and 10. They missed their friends. They missed stuff in Germany.
Sure, yeah.
So in the beginning,
bittersweet.
they still had exactly good word. Yes, bittersweet. But by now they all grasped on it, and by now they're
acclimated.
And interesting. I mean, if we continue this here real quick, so our middle son, he's in the U.S. Air Force.
Oh, cool.
And he actually just 3 months ago was stationed over in Germany now for a few years.
No way! How funny! It flips.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, every Air Force person I talk to from the United States Air Force, I say, "Where was your favorite station after a career or whatever?" You know what they always say is Germany.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, every one of them. They say it's just beautiful over there. I don't know where it's. I don't know Germany, but anyways, it's beautiful country, right?
And they actually now welcome this because he's native in both languages. So, like I said, he was 8 when we came over, so he speaks. They don't have an accent like I do or my wife do.
Yeah.
And so he's over there speaking both languages natively, and that helps a lot in his
relationships with
relationship between everything.
Yeah,
that works perfectly for him. And
I have just a quick great story from Germany.
Okay.
So I used to go to the Foreign Language Training Center in Garmisch, Germany.
Garmisch-Partenkirchen?
Yeah. And a couple things. First of all, what a goat rope that was. It's like the most awesome.
I had never heard that expression.
Lacey used to fly out. We were living in England at the time, and Lacey used to fly out, and we would rent like a cabin, and she would stay in the cabin. I would go to the language school, and then the Alps. It's just so beautiful there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But no shit, people still wear lederhosen, or at least did at that time. So this is like, think if you're American, think like Angus Young and the AC/DC.
Yeah.
Like that's like the only way I could explain it. But like no shit, like I'm on the bus. And there's people wearing lederhosen like going to work,
like normal,
like it's not like a festival or anything.
Yeah,
it's
not Oktoberfest.
It's like a Tuesday.
Well, it's Tuesday.
Like
lederhosen Tuesday.
Oh, this is crazy.
It's part of the culture,
totally
especially
is.
in southern
Totally
Germany. Yeah.
In southern Germany.
So, southern, not in the northern part, not at all. No way.
Really?
Middle, no.
I did not know that.
So I've been in 3 World Trade Center or World Trade Organization riots, just coincidentally, in my life. One in DC, one in England, and one in Munich. So we were in Munich, and we were at the Hofbrauhaus, which all tourists go to the Hofbrauhaus, right? So I'm at the Hofbrauhaus. That's think giant pretzels, big boobs, and big beers, right? And so we're in there for a while, drinking the beers. We come out, and we come out just coincidentally in the middle of the riot, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this group of and I don't know if it was police or military, some type of German security forces come out. Now I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3". There was like 100 of them, and they were all like way bigger than me. And I was like, what in the hell is going on? And just like quickly dispersed the crowd and got the ride under control. But that's my memory of German. It's lederhosen and Garmisch, and it's these crazy security forces in Munich during the World Trade Organization riots.
Wow.
All right, so I got to ask, do you guys both own and wear lederhosen then? I'm just trying to picture this.
No,
definitely not.
Okay, no?
Never had.
Never have? Because I was
Never
hoping we
have,
could get a
never
picture
had
of you
them.
in lederhosen.
Yes.
No.
For this episode.
Yeah, for the episode.
Perfect. If we get you some lederhosen, will you wear it?
Of course.
Okay. All right.
Frank the fitter.
You know what's
at
happening.
Ben's Bikes. Yes, with lederhosen. Go see the guy over there in the lederhosen.
If you pay an extra $100, he'll wear the lederhosen during your bike.
What do you mean by an extra $100? Do I get paid for that?
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so
eventually we got to get to bike fits.
Oh yeah, all right. So law enforcement. I don't know if there were some other stories to go.
No, I think you're probably good.
That's okay.
Good
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Okay. So while you are in the career of military and law enforcement, you are somehow training as well as a professional triathlete or Ironman at this point, or kind of where are you in your continuum of training?
Coaching,
yeah.
So I was never a professional triathlete.
Okay.
I never had, I would say, the time to train as extensively to become a professional
right.
triathlete. 3 kids, military, moving every 3 years. You just don't.
72 different jobs.
Exactly. You just can't do it, you know.
But it's an interest and you enjoy it.
Oh yes, I love it. I've been doing it for over 20 years, and it's just my passion. And I hope that I continue doing it. My youngest grandson, they're just visiting us right now.
You have grandkids?
Yeah. 2.
Wow.
Yeah, 7 and 11.
Okay.
And the youngest one just said, Grandpa, you promised we were going to do an Ironman together. So
wow.
when I'm 18, so
it'd be
you got 11 more years. You think you can do it at 68?
I have to,
You have
and
to.
I'm gonna do that.
There you go.
Yeah.
So in theory, you could have 3 generations.
That's actually my daughter and I, we were talking exactly about this. So my daughter and I, we said, if I do it with Colin then, and you're going to do it, we have 3 generations at the start.
I wonder if
Isn't
that's
that
been done before.
I have no idea.
But
We'll find out.
That'd be cool.
That's it's especial.
Special.
Espanol.
Espanol.
Bueno.
Okay, so at some point then you also become a certified coach for Ironman, and then we get into bike fitting.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I started, I wouldn't say, about coaching. I was coaching people for over almost 30 years now. So when I was in charge of a logistics section in the German Air Force in the 90s, every time I got a new lieutenant coming over, which I had to educate on how everything
So this is
works,
like a brand new commissioned officer.
Yes, right. He just comes from the university.
Yep.
And he comes into my office, introduces himself, and the first thing they always got was a registration form for the Berlin Marathon. And they looked at it and they said, I'm not a runner. Oh, not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. So you will become one. So every time I went for a run every day in my lunch break, and everybody knew that, and I had to do this. I was at that stage just marathon runner, and
just a marathon runner.
Every new lieutenant or whatever, they had to come with me. Sometimes 1 or 2 or maybe 3. So every time we were running, we were out of the office and we can talk freely. And then I got,
relationship.
Build that relationship.
It's a bonding.
Explain everything, how everything works. Nobody's around. No telephone is ringing and nothing.
Yeah.
So we use all these lunch breaks always to get them more knowledge in a different way. And then, of course, at the end, usually about a year, we all finished up and went together to Berlin and did the Berlin Marathon. And
really?
Yes.
That's cool. It's probably a big self.
Yeah.
It's probably a big self success or whatever for those guys.
Right. Exactly.
Right? Going from not being a runner to like doing a marathon. That's a big transition.
Right.
It's incredible.
Nobody ever expected that when they came over to become a marathon runner or do a marathon at all. And back in the 90s,
life changing.
Yeah, it is.
Did the word start to get out and people are like, "Nah, I don't want to work. You don't want to go there. You're going to end up having to run a marathon."
I actually don't know. I really don't know. But it was fun. Yeah. And then so I started, I wouldn't say coaching, but I coached these guys on how to run, and we made plans. I made plans and they had to follow them. If I was not there, if I was on a military mission somewhere or was on an exercise or so, they had to follow.
So you're naturally doing this coaching, and then you're like, oh, I'm coaching.
Yeah, exactly. And later on in triathlon, it became the same. And I always did it for free for lots and lots of people. Wrote the plans, and I developed some plans where I said, you know how it works. You have a certain plan and you just adapt it to whatever needs that athletes had. And at one point, my wife was always kicking my butt and saying, you know what, you're doing all this for free. That's not right. You sit here every evening and check if they did it. And then you write something new in there. You change it. You need to make that more or less like a little bit of a profession. And that's where I'm in now, so I'm certified and got through school and learned how to coach properly. And
How many things did you change when you learned how to coach properly? Nothing.
No.
Just got the certification.
So you were doing it right. You were doing it right already.
Yeah. I do it different, I would say. So everybody who's been coached by me, and some people came over from different coaches, and I have just a new athlete I just got a few weeks ago, and he said, that is so different, and I never had that, and I never had a complete day of recovery, but it's doing so much good for me, not just physically, but mentally as well. And, so I structure my training different, and still in my German thinking oftentimes, because there's differences in how you coach in Europe and how you coach in the United States. I mean, it's getting closer now, but there's still differences. And for me, it's successful.
Yeah.
And I do it on a daily basis. I work at Ben's Bikes 3 days a week to, help and with roadies and triathletes, because these guys are all mountain bikers.
Yeah.
All grumpy mountain bikers.
But Ben's Bikes, they're not all that. And then they have some high school. They have a high school girl that works in there too.
Yeah. That's. But she's a mountain biker too.
She is.
So there you go. Right. And then I have my own bike fitting business inside of Ben's Bike. So the two of us, we have some sort of arrangement.
So it's a partnership.
Yes.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I am super glad that I heard this story, because I was really considering thinking. I was so enthralled, enthused, like captivated by the bike fitting process. It's like data driven. It's like right up my alley.
Oh, yeah, you love that stuff.
With strategy. I was thinking about asking you if you would teach me how to do it, or maybe take me on as an apprentice. But now I know that if I do that, I'm going to have to run a marathon. So I'm totally
rethinking that idea.
I'm backing out.
It's like, how can I?
That's actually funny. Yeah.
Okay, so on Monday,
So to give some context, we had how we ended up talking to Frank here. We had Wolfman on,
yes,
and we published that episode like 2 or 3 episodes ago. And Wolf is Andrew Wolf. He's a exercise physiologist, and this was the second episode that we've done with Andrew, and he just like I think I'm just kind of in love with like the content that we covered with Andrew. He kind of teaches you what's going on with your body in ways that I'd never thought. Mm-hmm. Like dispelled a whole bunch of like bad perspective or bad ideas that I had. And he's given me some suggestions on what I can do to increase my VO2 max and increase my endurance. And in a relatively short amount of time, like weeks, I've instituted what he recommended, and I've seen a huge improvement to how I am on the bike.
Nice.
So I was like, that's awesome. But in that podcast, we wanted to ask him about the interface of bike body. Like how does your body interface with your bike and what's important? And we've been experimenting with different crank lengths. So like I run a 165 on all my bikes now, mostly for pedal strikes on a mountain bike. But on my gravel bike, I've got 175s and we got 170s on the Peloton. Anyways, we were just asking a bunch of questions. He's like, dude, you have to get a bike fit. You have to get a bike fit.
Yeah, he stressed that.
Talked to my sister, and we had Brady on. He rides for EF Anto now, and they were like, you've got to go see Frank. And so I just sent Frank, like randomly sent him an email and said, hey, would you be willing to come talk to us? He said, yeah. And after he said, yeah, I said, cool. I want to come get a fit before the podcast so that I can have some context during the podcast, but I'm going to pay you full price. Like, don't try to give me a deal or anything like that.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be like I was trying to scam you. So anyways, that's why we're here. So I have the context from the fit. Yep. It was awesome. I never would have set my bike up the way that Frank walked me.
It changed.
Oh, yeah.
How you used to have it set up compared to after the data and statistics, and
it'll probably sound minor, but it was major. Like how it feels on the bike. Like when I tell you when he tells what he does, it's going to sound minor, but it changed the entire way the bike feels.
Really?
And I am super optimistic. Anyway, so maybe tell us about how you got into bike fitting.
As a triathlete, so 20 years ago, about my first tri bike, which at that time was a road bike with clip-on aero bars. So it was not really a triathlon.
Didn't have different geometry either, just a regular road bike with...
It was out there already, but it was so specific at that time. Bikes were not easy to get by, and it was easier to get a road bike with
just clip on the handles.
Exactly. But I never felt really comfortable in an Ironman. You know, the distance on the bike is
110 miles?
112 miles.
112 miles.
Yes. So depending on how good you are,
that's including a 10-mile swim? No, 5 miles.
2.4 miles.
2.4 mile swim, marathon.
Afterwards. The marathon is the cool down. You know, you do the 112 miles on the bike and
then you do the marathon.
Blows my mind.
Right?
That's nuts. It absolutely nuts. And for 20 years, you've been doing these.
Yes.
And you enjoy them.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go on.
That's a special kind of pain.
Yeah.
And let me tell you right now, to get into an Ironman, you have to pay a registration fee. So for a full Ironman, you're paying about $1,000.
$1,000?
Yes, $1,000 to
I guess
start.
it makes sense because we've tried to run events before, and I know how expensive it is to set an event up, but I had no idea it was $1,000.
Yes.
I mean, it's 3 distinctly different events with all of the logistics.
Coordination.
I'm thinking through the logistics and the water and the roads and holy shit. Okay, so
When it started, it was $280, and right now, I think for the last one here, which I'm going to do on Sunday, it was 870, 890 because I registered as early as possible
to get the discounted price.
Yeah, to get the
and this one's in
Because
Phoenix.
he's telling me earlier, Germans are really frugal.
So he was saying-
big time. Yeah.
I love it. And so this is a Phoenix, and you're participating in the Ironman
All right, so we're
this weekend.
Back to bike fits.
Yep.
Yeah, back to bike
Thank
fits.
you
Yeah.
for bringing us back.
Come on, man.
I know, my bad. That's
So how do that? Yes. So I was never really comfortable because you spend about, for me at least, around 5 hours on the bike, 5 to 6 hours on the bike for that 112 miles. And I was never comfortable, I had back problems and whatnot. So I started experimenting with different saddles, started with different seat stays, started, experimenting.
on your
the
own,
bike.
experimenting.
When
Until I
you
was
say different
comfortable.
seat state, you mean different seat posts?
Seat post, yes.
Seat posts, okay.
See-
I was like, how are you swapping out your seat stays? I got you.
Freaking German, right?
German, yes.
It's okay. It's all good.
How do
It's
you
all
say
good.
it?
You're talking about bike fit and you don't even know what's on a bike, right? Here we go. Perfect. Okay. But I'm okay with that,
Yeah. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. He told me, he's like, I don't know if we want to do this. My English isn't good. I'm like, trust me, bro.
And I love
You'll
the
be
accent.
fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's
You'll be
awesome.
fine.
Yeah.
Keep
So
going.
yeah, different. So worked around this and always was interested in that. And then once I got comfortable and I had people I did it with, and they were complaining about all the problems they had on the bike, including my wife. And she always says, I'm not comfortable, not doing at that time tri-bike, but a road bike. I thought, let's get into this, get into the science and whatnot. And at that time, the tri-bike was invented by Dan Amfield. He's the owner, or was the owner, of Slow Twitch. And that was always he's the guru for everything. He came up with that idea how to actually classify a bicycle, and he came up with let's say a cross laser is it by now. At that time it was not a laser, but get to the bottom bracket, and we actually can, with every bike, determine a stack and a reach. He came up with all that theory around it and implemented it.
Geo.
Yeah, you could talk to geometry with this guy for days.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And, yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sure
He came up with it. And then over the years, I did it by myself, had already like coaching athletes in Germany as well, and helping people out get fitted on the bike and get comfortable, and hearing the same problems over and over again. You say, of course, if you have XYZ, you can do this on your bike and you're getting good. But when I came over here, like I said, I moved about a year ago. Before we came over here, I went then actually to fitter school, which was in LA, and it was done by Dan Amfield.
Oh, wow.
And he was the founder and actually of Quintana Roo at that time, the company who had the first aero bikes, triathlon specific bikes. And he has a school going on, and he does it once a year, maybe twice a year, where you can attend, and then you get to learn all the basics from ground off and do school for a whole week, and with riding, with everything. And it was very, very good training, very intense training.
Right.
And after that, you're in a small community of bike fitters, and then you just stay in contact and help each other out. And of course, you're interested in that thing and work on it.
Yeah.
And then there's the company GBO Meist, which I work with, which is a German company. They came out with a saddle pressure measurement system. And I got lucky enough to get my hands on one of these systems because, as we talked about earlier, you discover today while looking for them that they're extensively expensive.
Super expensive. Like I was so, because I love data, I was so enthralled. I'm like, oh man, that's like a $500 tool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look and see how much that is. Nah, I was off by like an order of magnitude or more.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
It was
It's crazy expensive.
pretty crazy how expensive it was.
And there's like six, seven fitters, from 5, 6, 7 fitters here in the Southwest who actually have that tool. There's a history to that tool. It actually came out of saddle pressure measurement for horses when people were sitting on horses.
It's cool. Huh?
And they got measured how much weight is where on the saddle, and then they got handmade saddles out of that so that they would actually fit their body better and they would ride more comfortable.
That's
in
fascinating.
competitions.
They've also developed for your feet.
Yes,
right?
they did the same for the feet, and now they have it for bars and aero bars where you measure pressure and get, we want to eliminate that pressure.
Yeah.
So when I put somebody on that saddle tool, it has a certain amount of sensors in that saddle tool. You sit down there, and then on the TV, you have a computer connected, and on the TV, you can actually see how pressure is distributed on the saddle.
So we
I
would,
bet you loved it. Hey, Josh.
It was amazing. So we would tweak a bunch of different things, and he'll tell us like what he did or whatever. And then I could see, okay, that pressure's gone, this got better. No, you're favoring your right hand side. No, you're a little bit to the side. To that
when he
side.
was making adjustments during
I would just pedal, and he's like, listen, look forward, and I'm trying to look at the computer because, like, it's data.
It's like
real time data
feed.
I'm like,
no,
I gotta look forward. So I gotta look forward, and I'm pedaling, and he's like, okay. And then he's get your ass off. I get off the bike. He goes back in, makes more adjustments. We get back on the bike. We look at what's happening, and it relieves the pressure points that cause if you're a man, your junk to go numb.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Or get saddle sores, or to just feel uncomfortable during a long ride. It was pretty amazing.
So can you set the stage? So you go into Ben's bikes
with my bike,
with your bike,
my setup, and the gear that I ride. Now, I made a mistake. I didn't wear my camis.
Mm-hmm.
Which you didn't give me shit about, but you should have.
Yeah.
I actually had them with me in the bag. I should have went and put them on.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, that was dumb. So
go
come
with,
in the way that you ride, I guess.
Yeah.
What
absolutely.
you ride, the way that you ride.
Uh-huh.
The first thing you did was let me shut up.
Yeah, there's a certain, and here's the thing about bike fitting. Yes, there's school you can attend, and I work with GBO Mice and went through their stuff. I worked with Dan Amfield, went through his stuff. But I think there's every fitter has his own philosophy somehow.
Sure.
There's principles you abide by. There's angles you don't want to cross, and you can lay on. And at the same time, by now, there's so many apps which pretend we can fit you on the bike. You're just going to film yourself. We overlay some angles, and we can tell you need to lower your saddle and what. And they do a good job in general for a basic fit, I would say. But there's so many things as a fitter and as an experienced fitter, you can actually see how the foot is in the cleat and how you're sitting on your saddle. Are you really centered on the saddle? That's what you can't see from the side as a computer and an app with a camera. And I have these computer programs. I have high-speed cameras. I can put this on, all the bells and whistles, of course. But you actually, there's things you can't see with this. The computer can't see. Yeah. You see through experience, and you see because you're actually there. And it all looks fancy and nice. But I can tell you, I think a really good fitter, he fits by experience, and he doesn't need a computer. It's going to help.
Yeah.
It's a tool you can use, but if you go to the nitty gritty, there's no need for a computer.
And I got to tell you, like, I've helped a lot of people get set up on their bike. And I think Frank even said when I came in there, he's like, "Who set this up?" And I'm like, "I did." He's like, "Yeah, you did okay." I'm like, "All right, thanks, man." I feel good. But in the changes that we made were minor from like a perspective, but they were major in how they feel. And I never would have sat. I never would have sat. And I think the biggest thing that for me was we dropped my saddle height
quite a bit. Yeah.
Huh.
Most mistake people do is the saddle is way too high. And like, get back to a protocol. There's a certain protocol involved. And if you have somebody who is wearing clipless, right? We start with the cleats, and most people buy cleats and they buy clipless pedals and they just slap the cleats on. If you're somewhat better, you put them to a neutral position. You just slap them on, but you look that it's somewhat neutral.
Uh-huh.
And then they're just going to wear them like this, and there can be so much wrong with just wearing that cleat.
Yeah, he's significant. Yeah. I mean, he moved my cleats significantly different location than they were.
So how many? I have so many questions. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And you can put the cleat, you have fore and aft, like with the saddle, you have in the cleat, you have left and right. So the Q factor, we actually determine there on the bike. So we can, depending on how your hips and your legs are situated, whenever the cleats are mounted correctly and we put a laser on, we can see that you're...
Wow. And no two people are the same.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And no two legs are the same.
And then there's
no two legs are the same.
There's some like weird stuff. Like so I bought an extra large bike, came with 44 centimeter
bars.
Yeah. Centimeter bars. And so I'm a big dude. So I'm like, yeah, of course I need big bars. Of course I need big bars.
Yes.
And he measures me. He's like,
girthy bars.
He's like, no, man, we got to go with like extra small bars for you. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he comes out and there's Ben. No offense, Ben. But,
Bubbles.
But Ben's like, I don't know how tall Ben is, but he's not tall. He's under 6 foot for sure. And Frank's like, you and Ben ride the same bars. And I'm like, how is that even possible? I never would have bought the same bars that Ben
never would have guessed
rides.
But bars is one of the biggest inputs I always see, especially in females. They have way too wide bars. And that's how the industry sometimes...
Is that because they're boobs?
No.
It's the second time you said that today on this podcast.
I got boobs on the mind. I don't know what it is.
I'm sorry. I just had to state that. It's a valid question, though.
I'm trying to think what would cause them to want to put their arm. Well, they have something we don't.
Right. Okay. No, it's good question.
Their
I'm sorry.
bike came actually stacked with these bars.
Okay.
And oftentimes, the bike is a hand-me-down from the husband.
Oh,
yeah. And the husband's
talking about this.
We have what the heck,
What the heck?
Get your bike a good bike,
Yeah.
So then she's actually enjoying it and going out with you and training with you.
That's well said.
Yeah,
very true.
And this has a big impact for shoulders, neck, pain you have there.
Yeah.
Because if you're too wide, then the skeletal support somehow is missing, and therefore they never get comfortable on their bike in the long run. Same thing as with most people are way too upright.
Yeah.
So they say, "Oh, I have numbness in my hands, and there's too much pressure, so I'm going to put my bars up."
Yep.
Can be right. In general, it is not. So usually you have to get them lower because you have to get them balanced. The physiology of the body and the geometry of the bike, and there's a certain balance point which you can find, and it's mostly lower the bars. And then I know it's contrary to you thinking.
Yeah, it is.
Right, but every time I do this and we can level people out, they say, "Oh, I'm lower, but I don't feel it in my hands anymore."
Less pressure.
That's amazing. Yeah. And that's just because they're balanced now on their saddle and then in conjunction with their bars.
So I get in there and he has me down in the bars and he's like, "Take your hands off the bars." So I take my hands off the bars and I stay in the position. He's like, "Huh, you actually have core strength." He's like, I wasn't expecting the fat guy to have core strength. But it was funny. I was telling him, I was like, I've got a set of 52s, which I think are the widest flare bars you can buy right now, because I ride 800s on my mountain bike. I got to get and he's like, "Dude, don't put those on your bike. Jesus, that's the wrong direction."
Yeah. On a gravel bike.
On a gravel bike. Gravel bike. Yeah.
And for you.
For me.
There could be somebody who can use a 52.
Yeah.
But it's not you.
Shaq. Maybe. Yeah. Yes. Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay, so how many points of adjustment between, like, what I heard from you is experience matters along with the input from your technology. Mm-hmm. So kind of a blending of, I don't know, art and science kind of thing you're putting together there, or your experience?
I think it's all science, but...
Okay, so more science?
Yeah, more science.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think so.
Based on your experience. Mm-hmm. So how many points of, like, adjustments are there when you do a fitting?
A lot. Really a lot.
And we didn't do everything with mine, right? You said you can go much deeper than what we did.
And just minor adjustments, like Wolfman said, because think about how much you're riding mile after mile after mile. So those minor adjustments make a
have a huge impact.
Yes, huge impact. Yeah.
Yes,
okay,
they do actually.
I've got. So do we want to talk more about your fitting? I've got so many questions.
No, please go.
Okay.
I just did it so I had some context and understood what it was, and I could say, yeah, this is worth the conversation.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So kind of related to what you did with Josh here. So he brought his gravel bike in. So how do you tailor the fitting process to meet the individual needs and preferences of each cyclist?
Oh, and back to protocol. So usually before the fitting, I start a conversation with the person I fit. And, we're doing everything in sync. We're working already on, I get their shoes, and I start with so I talk to the person while I start the fitting process. What are your goals? Okay. What do you want to achieve? And then there's the recreational rider. Then there's one, absolutely, I want to be comfortable. Then there's one, maybe I want to get on the podium. I want to get as fast, as aerodynamic as it can be, and I'm willing to endure, I wouldn't say pain, but discomfort over the time of 2-3 hours, whatever that race or whatever he's planning on doing might be, and I'm willing to tolerate discomfort, but I want to be as fast as possible. So that's a complete different process in fitting to a person who wants to be comfortable. Okay. Because we're going to be much more aggressive, and we're going to go into way more detail than we would do with the recreational rider. Mm-hmm. That takes a longer time, usually around 3 hours. That includes the computer, a lot of lasers, and then a lot of up and down. And there's different fits. We have what we call a prescriptive fit. That person doesn't have a bike at all. He comes into the shop and says, I want to have a road bike and I want to do X, Y, Z with the road bike. So I have a fitting machine which looks like a bicycle but has no wheels or whatever it is.
So this is to help you choose the right bike, the right
exactly.
frame.
We're going to purchase one.
Yeah, we're going to put this person on that bike and I can adjust everything in forms of how the body fits to that machine. Can adjust it easily. I can connect a cordless drill and can make very, very fast changes in seat height, in reach, in stack, in whatever it might be. Then there's a unit coupled to the bike, and this creates resistance. So then the person can start riding that trainer bike in different resistance. Let's say watts, right? I get 80 watts, 100 watts, 200 watts, 300 watts, whatever is necessary. I can adjust the crank length. We were talking about this.
Yep.
Very important. I can simulate every crank length, and you can actually see if somebody becomes most of the time shorter cranks, the cadence is higher, better, more aerobic workout for the person, and you can see that the output actually increases. We have a computer screen, and on the screen you can see all this in live time, so we can make that really quick change, and the person starts doing maybe 200 watts again, and we look at the cadence at 200, or we do a certain cadence and what's the output in power. And that's how you fit very enthusiastic people who want to get on the podium or people who don't have a bike at all. After that, after I get them really fitted to where I need them to be, I get the numbers off. Then I look into some databases. I'm in certain databases and can access certain databases. And then I can say, you should buy X, Y, Z bike.
Like
or
the prescription. Here's your...
Exactly.
Okay.
Or the person says, I want to have a Cannondale, I want to have a Giant, or I want to have a Pivot, or whatever it might be. I look up in their databases and I say, you should buy that bike in a certain size with a certain stem, degree of stem, all these things which came with the bike. They can order the bike, fit it to them. They get the bike, come into the store, and we're just going to do the micro adjustments to get them fitted there. That would be a prescriptive fit.
Prescriptive. I like it.
And then we have the retrofit. So a person comes in, has a bike,
like me,
and like you, exactly. And then we just get them on a trainer, stationary trainer, and we can then, and that's the difference. We
so just to be clear, we're talking about my bike, actual bike, just mounted into. It was I think you have a.
It's a Wahoo trainer.
Wahoo trainer. So it's my exact bike, just mounted to his trainer.
Yes. And then I fit this person to the best ability on that bike. That might not be the best fit for the person, but he already has a bike. Oftentimes I discovered if I put somebody on the fit bike, get the best numbers out and try to put them over to his bike, it's not going to work. He has the wrong frame. There's a lot of people coming in and say, oh, I have so much pain on this bike, and you can already see that's something wrong. I said, that frame is way too big. Too small for you. Yeah, but it was such a good deal I couldn't pass on it.
I bet that happens.
It's really a good deal. You got that bike, but I'm sorry, and that's wrong. And every time before I do a bike fit, I take a look at the person, get them on the trainer. It's on a podium. I can swivel this around when I need to put lasers on or put the high-speed camera on. So the person sits on that bike and I tell them, hey, I can't fit you on the bike. I can maybe make you a little bit more comfortable to reduce pain here or stress there, discomfort there, but you will never be comfortable riding that bike longer distances. And then for me, it would be unethical to do a fit, and this person gets out the door and tells everybody, I could have saved that money.
Yeah.
The heck,
Yeah.
So that's, and I don't want to do that. I just advise them, and I would not do it.
That's cool.
And
save your money, apply it towards your new bike.
Yeah, sell it.
Come and see me again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And these are the two different fits we actually do in the store.
Okay. Yeah, that's fascinating.
But you do different levels of the retrofit as well, like for tri riders. Like, how does that work?
It all depends where they want to go. If we were talking about your sister and Brady, right?
Yep.
One of the kids, and he's getting very successful.
Yep.
He's a kid. He's still growing. So we need to redo this every now and then.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. And he's getting on the bike, and with him, we're really trying to get him as aerodynamic as possible or as powerful as possible if he's using the road bike, to be able to actually work with that team and race the times he's racing, get on the podium, make him successful to get hired by a team or whatever it is.
Yeah.
This takes way longer and includes much more than a regular fit because we have to work in much more details and put more thought into power output and whatnot. It's just not just recreational riding.
So what are the do you mind if I throw in a question?
No,
I know you
go
got a
for
whole
it.
list.
No, it's great.
So what are the most common mistakes you see with folks fits when they come in for a retrofit? We already talked about seat height being too high for the cyclist. We also said if you get a non-cyclist, it's too low. So it depends on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the other common mistakes that you see?
Definitely the most common one is the seat height. Way too high. And this causes a lot of problems. And especially males, they feel better when their seat is higher. I don't know why. And every time I drop them down, they say that feels so weird. And I somehow don't like it. And I said, give it a try. They come in later and they actually say, yeah, it's working. I'm comfortable. There's no pain, no numbness anymore. And I'm fine. I like it. I'm going to leave it. It was just getting used to it.
Yeah.
And second thing is if you have clipless pedals, setting up the pedals the wrong way. The cleats. Sorry.
The cleats the wrong way.
Yeah, which connect to the pedals.
You know, it was interesting when he dropped my seat and I went out and rode, it felt weird.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that Ben told me, he's like, listen, just trust it. Just go with what Frank did. Go do 3-4 rides. Trust it before you say, I'm not going to do this. Cause I've been riding for 20 years. I've developed.
Have an open mind.
Yeah. Have an open mind. Trust it. So I'm definitely going to do that. I went out and rode. And I was like, this feels kind of weird. Also feels kind of good. I think I can get used to this. So then I came home and looked at a bunch of YouTube videos of professionals riding to see how their leg extension.
Yeah.
To try to gauge where they were
compared to you,
compared to how you set my bike up. And I'm like, oh goddamn.
Frank was right.
Frank was right.
And here's the thing, and that's whatever bike fitters tell you. You come in and we get it right. You get a bike fit and you're out the door. Doesn't work in my experience and in my opinion. There's you do a dynamic fit. That's what we're doing fitting because people are riding a bike. They're moving.
You're moving.
Right?
You're changing your location. Yeah.
But there's no lateral movement. So if you take your bike out of the stand,
during
the
fit, on the stand, there's no lateral movement.
Exactly. You get it outside. There's a different movement now. There comes the lateral. You have to balance, and the bars you always have to correct and whatnot. So you're moving differently. You're not in that stationary position.
Yeah.
And that adds a different level to it, which we can't replicate on a trainer. Mm-hmm. So I myself, for 6 months after the bike fit, if nothing happens, not a new bike, not a new hip or a new knee or whatever it might be, I'm going to refit people free of charge. I'm going to do these adjustments because I myself I don't think I can get it right the first time having it stationary, still a dynamic fit, and they get out. No, I don't think so. If I was lucky, perfect. That was great. But most of the time people come back, can we adjust it? I have a little bit on the outside of my shoe. Yeah, we adjust that cleat real quick or things like this because that develops during longer rides. Yes, you're on the trainer for maybe an hour or whatever, but that doesn't compare to a 2-hour ride outside or what longer and under different circumstances. And that's why, hey, come back in. I'm going to help you and I'm not going to charge you. If somebody does a bike fit and then every time people come in, he charges them, that's not how I do business. And I think that's wrong.
Yeah,
because you did your job and fitted them, but maybe it's like I said, there's a certain element comes from outside riding, and we need to
the more input data you have, the better your output can be.
Yeah,
I like that dynamic word you used. Dynamic fit. Yeah. I would imagine old habits are hard to break. Right. I mean, you've been riding for a long time. And then when you make these little adjustments
and drop my seat significantly, I'm like, whoa, this is weird.
so do you find that most people have an open mind, or are they kind of like, oh, Frank, I don't know if I can deal with this. What's the reaction when you do this? Is it usually, Frank, this is the best thing ever. I wish I would have learned this, 10 years ago. On those follow-up
I cannot wait to hear the answer to this question.
80% have an open mind. And I think that's why they actually finally chose to go to a fitter.
Yeah.
You said, you can watch YouTube and you can try to learn it all yourself.
Only gets you so far.
There's really good YouTube videos out there and everything. Perfect. Really good bike fitters. So much experience. This is one thing I'm missing in my background, where I would love, I had to have a background like a physical therapist or something.
Yeah.
You pick up on certain things, and I try to educate myself. And in fitter school, you get educated on certain things, names, physiology, and stuff like this.
Right.
But still, having the background of somebody's working with these, in my opinion, are the best bike fitters out there. They have a physical therapy background.
Yep.
Learned that from
education,
years of practice,
and then go into bike fitting. That's the perfect combination, which I personally missing, but I try to do my best and catch up on this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So do they come back to you, and then have you can you share with us like a success story that maybe they came in, it was a very challenging fit. How do we get this right? And they came back and they're like, Frank, my last 50 miles have been just outstanding.
I have this all the time. I could show you text messages where people text me and say,
oh,
finally, pain-free. I have a few people who did the fit. They want to do the Tour de Tucson now. They started riding like about 6-7 months ago, going into longer distances, had severe discomfort. And finally, we're willing to spend that money, because that's always something which is the easiest. We know everything gets more expensive these days.
Yeah.
Life is getting tougher for everybody. And a bike fit is, for most people, nothing you really need. You're just going to ride your bike. And everybody, most of the time, said, yeah, I think it hurts. That's what bike riding is all about.
But
no,
that's what I thought. That's what I thought for like 20 years. Yeah.
You should be almost pain-free. Absolutely. And I do, and I get these text messages. I did a 80 mile yesterday, and finally it was perfect. But it's always a combination, because during my bike fits, I try to find out about that person. Being a coach, I'm interested in, why are you doing this? How long are you doing this? How are you actually doing it? And then a lot of people in these longer bike rides, let's say Tour de Tucson, they neglect the nutrition part. They don't actually do the right nutrition, and they suffer, and it's going to hurt them mostly mentally then, because they bonk at the end of the race, and the whole experience, bike riding and everything together, is then not as good as it could be. So during my bike fit, and you got that too, I try to explain every step I do. I tell the customer, this is what I'm doing, and this is why I'm doing this, so they understand what is actually happening and what could be the outcome. So later on, you were thinking, you were saying that, how do they have an open mind? They get out and they're educated, and they say, I know it feels weird, but he explained it to me and I understand it now, and I will give it a try and will give it a chance.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so Frank, and you can tell me whether you're willing to talk about this or not, but Andrew, when we had him on the podcast, quoted a price for a bike fit, for a retro bike fit. And then my sister confirmed it. And so I went in to see Frank thinking that the price was at one point. And then when we got to do the payment, he's like, all right, it's this. And I was like, wait a minute, that's way cheaper than what Andrew said. Do you want to talk about your pricing at all?
Oh, sure. No problem at all. It all depends. And we were talking about this now. What type of bike fit are we doing? How much time we're investing? And what equipment are we actually using?
Yep.
If I do a basic bike fit for somebody who has a road bike, who doesn't want to race, doesn't want to be on the podium, just wants to enjoy his bike, that's $199.
So
$200.
So he had quoted us $350.
Yeah.
And so I went in thinking I'm paying $350 today.
And he said it's the best investment you're going to make if you spend any time on the bike.
I'm more than happy to take.
He told me that too. He's like, I'll take the $350 if you want. I was like, no, I'll give you the $199. Come on.
So $200 and for the fitting sounds like a great value, especially
if you're spending $2,000 on a bike or more.
Yeah.
Right. Like you might as well make sure that bike fits you and that you're comfortable on it.
And sometimes it doesn't have to be a full bike fit. So a lot of people come in and ask me, I want to have a new saddle. Why? Yeah, because look at this one. It's so hard. There is no cushion and I'm always hurting. Why do you think you need a new saddle? Yeah, because I'm hurting. I need a super soft saddle, a white one. No, don't make this, please, no. So 95% of the time, the saddle is not set up correctly. There's a certain way how to set up a saddle, how your sit bones should actually be aligned on the saddle. At a certain position on the saddles, that's where your sit bone should be. And if you follow all the rules and get it set it up right, it doesn't matter how soft or how hard the saddle is, it's probably going to fit you and you will be almost pain-free.
So the fit is more important than the saddle itself in a lot of times.
Yes, but still it has to be the right saddle.
Sure.
So, we measure the sit bones and whatnot, and then we get this on. But I just do saddle fits. So people say exactly that, and they just want to have a new saddle because everything on the bike, they're okay, and they're recreational riders. They're very upright and whatnot, and they say, I love my bike. I have no neck, shoulder, no hand pain, no whatever it might be. It's just the saddle. So I get my saddle tool out, and we just do a saddle fit. And get the right saddle or get the saddle they have adjusted 50% of the time. They don't need to buy a new saddle. And they get out the door, come back a few days, weeks later because they buy something in the store or whatever. And they come in and say, it's the best thing ever. I'm pain-free.
So
I can ride
what do you
my
charge
bike.
for a saddle fit?
$59.
$59.
Wow.
And then what about a prescriptive bike fit?
$199.
$199.
Same work.
Seriously,
Same work.
I got to recommend to our listeners. If you're in the local Tucson area, please come see Frank the Fitter.
Yeah.
At Ben's Bikes. And if you're not in, is there a good way for folks to find bike fitters in their local area? Is there a bike fitter database, or just go to your local bike shop and say who's the best bike fitter here?
No, I mean there's like GBO might have me on their side, and Slow Twitch I'm on their side. If you these are the forums people look at and get advice. And
but let's say you're like in Mississippi.
I would say Google it,
Google it, or just come to Tucson. It's beautiful, and bring your bike and
destination.
Visit Frank.
Yeah, for sure. How are we doing on time?
Yes. So what I would like to do is I want to hear a little bit about your coaching business right now, and then we'll probably wrap up.
Okay.
How's that sound?
That went by fast.
Yeah. So
it does when you're having fun. But if you got more questions,
go. To segue into that, that's where I was. Into that is something you mentioned during the bike fit about nutrition and that. And there's a nice little quote here about on the IRONMAN certification coaching, where it says here. I'll just read this quote if I can find it. The swim, bike, run is the part everyone sees and talks about, but it is the often neglected recovery stage that athletes do not take serious enough. The stretching and loosening of the muscles, daily nutritional requirements, which you just talked about, to keep your body fueled for the training sessions ahead, and all important legs up, resting moments are all part of the plan to work together. So you can just hear like your coaching kind of coming out in all of that. Wolfman talked about the recovery stage as well, significantly.
Yep.
So, can you talk to us a little bit about kind of your other business of coaching Ironman?
Sure. And
athletes.
Back to recovery, you get stronger by recovering right. Recovery is actually making you.
And people skip that a lot, don't they? The recovery phase.
Yes, they think they have to train every day, and what I'm seeing is a big problem these days is like platforms like Strava, because nobody wants to do a slow ride on Strava or a slow run.
Right.
They see me and they say, "Oh,
how was your times today?"
Yeah. Oh my God. Look at this guy. He's so slow. Yeah. But
it's like every picture on Instagram is like the best picture you've ever taken.
Yes, it's so true.
So they think every training is a race, and every time I go out for a 10K, do you actually wear? I mean, I don't bind my shoes for a 10K, but you go out.
Wait, what was the phrase? What was the phrase
that?
that you just said? You don't bite your shoes.
Bind.
Okay, that's
okay. You don't bind, like tie your shoes.
You don't tie your shoes.
Yeah, there's no need to put running shoes on if you do less than 10K. Who does less than 10K? No, bullshit.
I'm not going to work with you.
That was a special for Ben, and he knows why.
Oh
no, but
recovery.
Every training is a race, and actually there should be way more slow training included than the fast one.
That's exactly what Andrew said.
80% of the training should.
That's what Andrew told me, and what I've been doing is like zone 2 heart rate, long, like 45 minutes or greater.
The base rides
to 2 hours, base miles or whatever.
Base miles, 80%.
I've been doing at least 2 of those a week where I never did them, and my heart rate has come down.
Yes, significantly.
In 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's crazy how fast it has changed.
That quickly.
Yeah, you're in trouble next time we ride.
Well, with your new adjustment, you said you're descending faster.
Yeah.
So I am and then plus your cardio. Yeah. All right. Go. Yeah. Continue.
But that's the thing. I get new athletes, and they were training for a while, and they did train themselves, and now I put them back and said, we're going to have that basic foundation, that aerobic basic foundation. That's the most important thing we have to build right in the beginning, and it's going to take weeks. It's not going to take days or whatever. It's going to take weeks and months.
Yep.
It's going to be boring and it's going to be slow. But after we have a certain aerobic base and your muscles are,
attuned to it.
Tuned, yes. Then we go into faster things, but they're going to be short and fast. And that's how we train. And there's going to be an extensive recovery after those shorter, faster things. And on the weekend, maybe depending on how the athlete says his work week schedule, we do the slower, longer things still. But slow and long gets you fast.
Okay, slow and long gets you fast.
That's what my wife always tells me.
Yeah, sure.
In different contexts.
Yeah,
different. Wait, we've gone through a whole podcast and not talked about S&M.
What is S&M?
I don't know. Is it German?
Yeah. So why do you guys think it's German?
No, I don't know if he understands.
No. How would you explain it? You're an expert.
Yes, sadomasochism. So for some reason, every episode
there's
a running joke that I like pain, and there's
he likes pain in the bedroom.
In the bedroom.
Oh,
so, that's right.
Whips and chains and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So every episode, Josh has to throw a joke in there along with a dad joke.
I do have a DM from someone asking if Mike is really into S&M. Seriously.
All right. That was funny. Speaking of S&M, okay, my next question is this, because it's actually fits with that. So you talk about you were inspired, okay, to run like the Ironman triathlons, okay, and you surround yourself with like-minded friends.
I was not inspired.
No, it inspired you?
I never heard about Ironman. I was just running marathons, and I was out with a few sergeants of mine training for the Bataan Memorial Death March in Alamogordo, Mexico.
Yep.
It's there in Las Cruces in White Sands Missile Range.
Yep.
That's where the Bataan. So we were training, and I look at one of my sergeants, and he had a tattoo on his shoulder, and I said, "What's that red thing you have there on your shoulder?" And he said, "Oh, that's something you will never achieve."
Oh, wow.
Oh,
the Ironman
challenge issued.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yes, right there.
I said, "Whatever it is, I'm going to do it." And he said, "Okay, I'm going to pay." At that time, it was cheap to get into an Ironman.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay the registration, and let's see how you do. And that's how it became.
Oh,
that's
he paid for you?
Yes.
And then game on.
Yeah.
Did you finish?
If I
did you
would
finish
have
the
not
first one?
finished it, whatever, then I would have to give him the money back. Yes.
Did you finish it?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Wow. Were you swimming at that time?
I was a swimmer in high school.
Okay.
Throughout high school, I swam competitively
Yeah.
for the state. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's where the S&M part comes in, okay? So, all right. It says, I will work with you so you can enjoy this all-consuming triathlon. So to me, when I hear Ironman, however many miles it was, you walk through it all, and then they will enjoy it.
Embrace the suck,
Yeah, right. Embrace all the pain that comes with it.
It can be painful, and it is, of course, Ironman, you have 17 hours to finish the race, the Ironman, whatever. Usually, and things change now a little bit, but usually the start was at 7:00 in the morning, and at midnight, that's it. Finish closes. So you have 17 hours to finish that race to be official, called an Ironman, official,
okay,
whatever, right? And so yeah, that's a long day.
Yeah.
After 4, 5, 6 hours, your body's going to say,
"Screw you,"
Screw you. That's it. And then it's just mental. And that's for me the interesting part. Every time overcoming this, actually still going forward, still enduring the pain because it's painful. And that's for me the interesting part. Yeah.
So today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Today still? And
Saturday.
Saturday, you're coming up Ironman Phoenix.
Sunday.
I'm sorry, Sunday. And your daughter's flying in.
She's already here.
Okay, to do the Ironman with you.
Is he not listening? Because you told him that you met her, But
2 times.
Okay. It's okay.
2 times.
Okay.
my bad. And then, okay, so how, going into this, so you seem calm, relaxed,
Oh, yeah.
What, how many of these have you done? And how do you feel going into these?
I did 10 full ones, and I don't know how many half ones.
Wow.
I
lost count.
Yeah, lost count. Honestly, lost count. Yeah, I think I did 4 half this year, and this is going to be a full one. And I'm going to have
4 half just this year.
Yeah, and then the full one. Yes, and I have one more coming up in 2 weeks, but it's a half one. I'm going to do this in Indian Wells and Palm Springs.
So, Frank, what's the name of your training company?
So the company is called Saguaro Endurance Multisport Coaching.
Saguaro Endurance Multisport Coaching. And for our
Endurance and Multisport Coaching.
Saguaro Endurance and Multisport Coaching. And for our non-native Tucson people, Saguaro.
Yes.
Germany. Yeah.
Saguaro.
I mean, how do you actually pronounce it like this if you look at how it's written? So why would you call it?
You guys don't have any words like that in German?
Oh, yes, a lot.
Yeah, we have just a few.
But it's hard for me to pronounce it.
Okay, so we'll put all the information in the show notes. Is there a website or something you want to share? I can put
we actually have a website.
Can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, it's Saguaro Endurance Multisport.
Okay, cool. SaguaroEnduranceMultisport.com.
Yes.
Cool. We'll put that in the show notes. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot. I've been super excited about the bike fit. I'm excited to dial this in, and I told you're gonna get my wife, and I'm gonna bring more of my bikes in. So this has been an eye-opening experience for me. Super great getting to know you a little bit. Thank you so much. Do you have any final thoughts for our listeners?
Yeah, don't wait too long. If you struggle on your bike, if you have discomfort, just come in and let me take a look, and maybe I can tell you immediately, get a different bike. I know that's the hard truth, and people don't like me for that, but sometimes it needs to be said.
Yeah.
And if you struggle, if you have discomfort, and you just want to enjoy it, come in, and we're going to find the right fit for you, and we're just going to get you comfortable on your bike, and you're going to enjoy biking.
Right on, man. Well, hey, really appreciate it. You good?
Yeah, no, that's well said, Frank. Just to enjoy the bike experience, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it can be enjoyable. It definitely can be. You should not suffer.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, man. I think you're my favorite German.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, buddy.